Hello, welcome to Econometrics Melody. In this tutorial, we'll deal with the commands codebook, inspect, and count. These are very useful commands. Let's begin with this main Stata interface active. Each time press Ctrl 8 for activating data editor and Ctrl 9 for activating do file. So let us prepare our data sets and let us see what are they. So we have these variables. These three variables, inc3, inc5, and bb, they are categorical variables, whereas inc2 and ed, they are numerical variables. We have some missing data as well, observations as well, and aa is a string variable. Now let's see. So what does the codebook do? The codebook, it describes data contents. Codebook inc3, we get this result. So the value, it ranges between 0 to 1. There are only two unique values. It has a label called yes, and 0 indicates for yes and 1 indicates for no. If you write codebook and if you specify the option header, you get this information. What is the name of the data set, last saved, and what are the labels, number of variables, and so on. A detailed information. And if we write header and notes, it displays the notes, the variables they carry. So we have specified three variables. So this variable, you see, it is its level, the level of the variable, and we have assigned to its observation, we have assigned this label, 0 for yes, 1 for no, and this is its note. The note is, are you married? Similarly for inc5, and we have assigned a label to its observation called this and good, better, best. Okay, and this is its note. What is your health condition? For missing values, any information on the missing values, it provides the information on the patterns of the missing values. We have 6 missing values out of 21. 15 are the unique values, so they are not the detailed patterns. Okay, and if you want to tabulate, see, I have specified this option and tabulation 5, and I have specified only two values, inc2 and ed. So let me increase this to 10, and do we see any change in the tabulation? So let me include this 10, and do we see any change? We don't see any change. After 10, let me place 14 and again run this. You see the first variable, it got changed. So the default is 9 for this. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. So these are the unique values. If you see, these are the unique values, they are not repeated. And again, if I, for the next variable, we didn't get any tabulation, this frequency tabulation. So if you write maybe 20, and then you should get this Control D. You see, these are again the unique values for this option. Now let us use, if there are any problems in our data sets, but here I am specifying only these two variables. So these two variables, do they have any problems? So no potential problem in data set. Okay, and if you don't specify these variables again and then the entire data set, you will see again there are no problems. So now compact is equivalent to summarize. You'll get the summary informations. These observations, these unique observations, mean and their label as well. So if you want to compare, let me again summarize this, and you see, if you summarize this, you see 16, and its mean is 43.125, and max 0 and 95. Okay, this seems to be very simple. Now codebook, for these variables, we are going to specify the unique option called dots. So here are 1 2 3 4 5 6 variables, and these 6 variables are processed, that is represented by the number of dots. 6 dots represent 6 variables were processed and their information. And if you write codebook only, and if you don't specify any variables, this will represent describe the data contents of all the variables all the way to aa. So this is our last variables, if you see it in our data set. So all the 6 variables aa, and it begins with inc3. This is all about codebook. Now let us go to our next variable called inspect. This will display simple summary of data attributes. Okay, let us see what if we write inspect inc2. So this draws a graph and 30 unique values, and it's their frequencies, and you see these informations: total, integers, and positive numbers, this number of zeros, and so on. So let us write inspect bb. So what happens? Again, 3 unique values. It's graph, actually it's flight status, so 7 zeros. This is a categorical variable. If you see the variable called bb, you see this low, middle, and this, they have 7 observations each. That is why we see that is reflected in this graph. Then after, we can again inspect it, disaggregate it according to its certain categories. So we have run a command to inspect bysort bb. We are going to inspect variable inc2 is for the disaggregated according to the category of bb. Low, for low we have this information, for mid and for high. For mid this, and for here. Okay, now if you write inspect aa is a string variable, so we will not get any graph, so this is as simple. And if you write inspect all, so this is equivalent to specifying all the variables. Okay, all the way to aa we have 6 variables and their inspection. So this is variable ad, this is variable inc2, that's all. Now let us move to our next command. It's count, and count is very simple. It simply counts the given condition. Okay, so we are going to count if inc5 is exactly equal to 10. How many observations are there? 0 observations. How many observations are there in a that is less than 9? So this is a type mismatch because a is a string variable, so, and we're asking it to find some numbers. But if you ask how many observations in aa does have all, so there are 9 observations that fulfill this condition. How many observations in inc2 are missing? 5 observations in inc2 are missing. And how many observations in inc5 is exactly equal to 2? 6 observations in inc5 that it resembles with 2. And before we leave, if you want to review the latest 5 commands that we have typed, then you should specify this asterisk and review. So these are the 5 commands, all of our do files. Okay, I'm executing these commands from do file, so you get this do file. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much, Econometrics Melody.